colleague of mine, Danielle Byrne, we decided that we wanted to celebrate the normal, humble stories of the local people of Newbiggin. So what we did is there's a park bench just on a hill up there, and to start the project we just sat on that park bench and we waited for local people to come by, and we transferred those stories into loads and loads of different medium. So what we wanted to do was work with loads of young people to enhance and improve their creative skills, and I think we did that. And over the course of what we did, we spoke to over 200 people from the area. So that included people on the bench, visitors who came to the exhibition, and there was loads and loads of people that we engaged with. And what we wanted to do really was to celebrate just the humble stories of normal people.
Newbiggin was a great place when I was little. You had cinemas, dance halls, and then if you went to Ashington, you had another 2 dance halls, you had another 5 cinemas, I think it was 5 cinemas. Because we had trains in those days, so you could get the last train home. And my grandmother would be waiting at the back door for me coming up, and 2 of the other lads, their mothers would be waiting down at their front door to make sure we got in at night.
There was lots of things to do, and there was also like ice cream places where the kiddies could buy things.
There was loads of shops, and you could buy like what you remember is like the blow-up balls,
Beach balls.
Beach balls, and buckets and spades, things like that, and you could spend all day doing that and hire your tents and your windshield, you know.
I used to come down in the summer and play in the sand and the water and everything when we were little. We used to be there till about 8:30 at night. We used to love it. We used to be down all the time. We used to go out for places, but I think he has the best for the beach and that.
I remember there was 3 shelters, and from the middle shelter you went and hired these green tents, these funny green tents and deck chairs. And my grandmother used to take in summer visitors, and one family used to come every year, and didn't matter what the weather was, she had to have her green tent and her deck chairs on the beach, and so she could come and put her feet in the sea. And she was beautifully dressed, lovely dress, hats, and sometimes with a fur wrap, and that was how she went onto the beach in those days in the 50s.
Well, they used to have their little buckets, put their little crabs in wherever they could find, in their little fishing nets, which we would buy here if they didn't have one, didn't we?
That's right.
Things like that.
I live beside the beach. I live beside here.
Newbiggin by the sea.
Newbiggin beside the sea.
Yeah.
Can't come to the outdoors
And catch crabs.
and catch crabs.
I went to the church school, which was another very old building, so a lot of the boys I went to school with were fisher families, and a lot of them had done half a day's work before they went to school. In the summer they'd be out 5:30 in the morning with the boats, putting pots out, putting nets out. The whole part of that bay would be full of nets and boats. I mean, where Burning Place is, all the boats used to be pulled up in there. None of this was here when I was little. There was no promenade, nothing like that. There was only the middle bit of promenade. And what we used to do was we used to go down the slope by Bertorelli's, dodge the waves and run and come up by the lifeboat station. I think I got wet once.
It was a really good beach and it was well kept.
And a lot of things in Newbiggin for people to do.
And a lot. You had your lifeboat day, you had your church fair and that.
You had
I mean,
this-
they've still got them now, but in my day it was a lot bigger. I don't know if it was because I was littler and it seemed a lot bigger, but
The
it
Newbiggin
seemed, you know,
street fair, what they used to have on
I
years
had
ago as
street
well.
fair on and that. You
And
know.
what was that street fair like?
Great.
Good, really good.
But they stopped that was about 7 years ago.
Aye.
Through
You used to have like well-known names come, like
Singers
Shawaddy
and that.
Waddy and stuff like that come down, you know. So obviously they
good.
weren't in the heyday then, but you know what I mean. It was quite good.
Fishing.
Oh.
Like being a fishing
Yeah.
port, like Samble. Samble was a fishing, this was mostly a fishing place, you know, which they still do a bit fishing, I suppose, but not big as what it used to be, you know.
But when I was little, every summer it used to be crowded, you know, with people like from the caravan parks and stuff like that. Bertarelli's has been there for years, you know, years. I can remember when I was little, riding on a little zebra, and it's hanging
What
on the
was
wall
that?
in the shop now.
That old arcade place that used to be there for years.
Nobles used to be there, and it's a nice little village, you know, nice. You get the cobles going out and doing their fishing, and you can come down and buy the fish. When we were younger, you know, and tell stories about that.
And yes, many years ago, it used to be called the Spiral. That's where people used to go and get the coal there as well. And they used to have the old tin huts where some people used to live in them. That was fun.
Certain time of the year, about August, everybody used to go mackerel fishing, and you'd get 12, 20 on a line. And my grandmother used to send me up with a basin and threepence or sixpence, get a bowl of mackerel, and used to go. That's what you used to do, buy the mackerel. And people used to sell crabs and lobsters and everything from their front doorstep on the main street. A lot of old Newbiggin is gone. Definitely a lot is gone. The original, what you call Sandwich, there's what you call Old Sandwich and New Sandwich. Old Sandwich was knocked down, and my mother told me the plaster had been bound with human and horse hair when it was knocked down. And there was also a rumour that a skeleton had been found with a spearhead on her back, and it was believed to date back to Viking times because the name Newbiggin is a new beginning. It's still never been proved that the original name was South Wallowick. And I said, well, if there's a South Wallowick, where is North Wallowick? And I believe that is Allenmouth. Wallowick was an obscure Saxon saint. So Newbiggin sort of like regrew from the Viking destruction. But Newbiggin was part of Woodhorn. And Woodhorn is what you call a baronial manor.
Well, I've lived in Newbiggin since I was 6, and I was married in the church, so I had my wedding day there. That was 1974. So, but apparently the land from the church outwards, it used to go a mile out. From the church here, the land used to go like a mile out to sea. You could walk right along. But obviously the seas eroded it and everything, you know. But it's a beautiful church inside and that, you know,
It is.
lovely.
Really nice.
My parents is buried there and family, you know. And there's a lot of old, really old graves in it, you know. So, but you see happy occasions and sad occasions in it, so it's nice.
There used to be hundreds of people here, and you could hire pleasure boats. You could go out in the bay, and then there was the little boats. Old Andrew Stewart had them. You could hire those, and I used to love it when my cousin came in the holidays, and he would take me out.
I remember when my kids won the fancy dress on the beach when they were little at the church fair. You know, that was a day for me. One was a Beefeater, and the other one was Little Red Riding Hood, a girl and a boy. The Beefeater come first, and she come second with Little Red Riding Hood. And that was quite a nice day, actually.
I used to work for the gas board, and if I had a job up here, having our lunch, we used to stop, get some fish and chips or a sandwich, and we used to sit overlooking the sea. I mean, didn't tell anybody that because I was there. But that was about, that would be 15, 20 years ago. We used to come here, but I say it used to be pleasant sitting overlooking the sea and having your dinner, you know, fish and chips. Like I said before, I like my fish and chips. But I don't like fishing.
I just like the place.
Just nice. It's just friendly again. Just were nice people. Just mind. It's like everywhere else. You have your bad side, you have your good sides, you know. So, but I love it, me. I wouldn't move away.
No, neither would I.